Fire, one of nature's five classical elements, has designed the course of humankind since the beginning of civilization. It has so many uses in our day-to-day lives. It is used for cooking, during festivals, while camping, for lighting, and in death. Fire is a boon for many, yet it is despised by many as well. Fire is a boon if kept under control, but can be dangerous if it goes out of hand. If it goes out of control, it can cause damage to life and property. Therefore, it is said that fire is both a friend and an enemy. Throughout history, fires have led to drastic changes in population patterns, infrastructure, and the course of world events. In this presentation, we will concentrate on protecting ourselves from fires, especially in education centers like schools and colleges. India has a tragic school fire history. The Dabwali fire incident is the most disturbing school fire tragedy so far. Mandi Dabwali is a small town in the Sirsa district of Haryana where this unfortunate incident happened. It was the fateful day of December the 23rd, 1995. Around 1,500 people, including students and their families, were assembled in a synthetic tent to celebrate the annual prize distribution ceremony. Huge electric power generators were set up to provide electricity to the function. The generators were placed near the entrance, which was the only way to enter and exit the tent. The prize distribution was in full swing when one of the generators short-circuited and the synthetic tent caught fire. Synthetic material like nylon, polyester, acrylic catches fire quickly. Technically speaking, all textiles can burn, but their properties are extremely different. For example, did you know that you should never wear acrylic clothing near a bonfire? This is because the structure of the material is such that it catches fire quickly and keeps on spreading. Thin, lightweight textiles that provide plenty of air in their microstructure catch fire and burn quickly. Acrylic is the most flammable of all the synthetic fibers. It can be difficult to ignite, but once acrylic catches fire, it burns vigorously. Moreover, acrylic fibers melt and drip. This means that if acrylic clothing catches fire, it may stick to the skin and cause deep burns. The synthetic tent of that unfortunate function was made of acrylic. Naturally, the fire spread quickly. So quickly, in fact, that it engulfed the entrance before people even realized that they have to get out of there. Now imagine 1,500 of them trying to exit from a small entrance that could at max allow only 2 people to pass through at a time. Naturally, they all panicked, and it resulted into a stampede. Many lost their lives in stampede. Many others tried to tear their way out of the tent, but were stopped by the steel skeleton on which the tent was resting. It was just 10 minutes that the fire had occurred, and the tent started filling with poisonous smoke. In the next 10 minutes, the entire tent was engulfed with toxic smoke, and people started to drop down due to asphyxiation. 540 people died on that black day, 170 of them children. Public was enraged, and so was the government. School authorities all over the country were mandated to strictly apply all the fire safety regulations. Firefighting services were reprimanded for their slow response time and were asked to seriously upgrade their facilities. It was sworn that never ever would such an incident occur in any of the schools in the country. But within a decade, one such incident did occur in the far south of the country. It was the monsoon of 2004. Krishna English Medium School, a 3-story knowledge center in Kumbakonam, Thanjavur of Tamil Nadu, was busy in its usual morning routine. The school had a makeshift midday meal kitchen attached to the main building. It was made of bamboo and a synthetic cloth like tarpaulin. The food preparations for 900 students usually began at 9 a.m. The kitchen had been satisfying hunger for several years. On this day, however, due to the laxity of a midday meal cook, the roof of the kitchen caught fire. At 10:30 a.m., one of the schoolgirls alerted the authorities and evacuation of 900 students was underway. In merely 20 minutes, the fire had gained enough strength so that the bamboo structure conflagrated and the fire reached the first floor staircase. In merely 20 minutes, the fire had gained enough strength so that the bamboo structure conflagrated and the fire reached the first floor staircase, thereby making exit near impossible. Students and teachers did try to bear the heat and cross the staircase when it collapsed, killing all those on the staircase and blocking the path of the rest. At 11 a.m., the fire authorities were informed, and by the time they reached the spot, the fire had grown to enormous proportions. The firefighters were ill-equipped to douse the fire on such a large scale, but tried their best they could. Even the local residents initially tried to contain the fire by throwing water from the utensils. But after a while, the fire created a heat buffer of at least 5 meters, where mere approaching it would give a first-degree burn. 76 children perished in this fire. Several other major fire incidents, like the Upahar Theatre fire and the Puttingal Temple fire, kept on occurring within the country, but they all proved that people, especially children, were not safe and not sufficiently equipped to tackle this emergency. Basic fire safety is completely skipped at home, just brushed upon in schools, and expected to know by all the college youngsters. That's why children have to rely on their basic instincts when caught in this unfortunate situation. Hence, Safety Guy has produced this presentation so that at least the children will be aware of the problems that are created during a fire emergency and be ready to face those effectively on their own.